Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike, but that's not why I'm here today. This is another Saving Savvy episode. This time it's a 1 month review on the, if I can get this to work, yep, there we go, on the Apple Watch 2 Series 1. So this is the second generation of the Apple Watch, and I've now worn it for a month. And I thought I'd give you my impressions. This is my first experience with a smart watch. And the reason I got this watch originally was to help monitor my workouts at the gym. And my trainer said that this was a particularly good one for heart rate monitoring, so I kind of went with it. Now, a couple of things that you should know about me. One is that I am a watch wearer. I always wear a watch. And so for me to have this piece of stuff on my arm is no big deal. And in fact, I feel kind of awkward if I don't wear a watch. So I think that makes it much more desirable to have an Apple Watch if you are a watch wearer. If you're trying to adopt one as a new behavior, it might be a little more difficult. So what do I like about the watch and what don't I like? Well, I like the fact that it has a very accurate time because it is, of course, syncing to the phone, which syncs to the cellular network. So I'm really always on the perfect time, which feels good. There's no few minutes this way or a few minutes that way. And even with quartz watches, you have some time variance. I also really like the fact that I can change the clock faces. Now, I'm sorry, you can see that, but if I just swipe this way, I can get different clock faces that do different things. And I can configure what they call complications in different ways. Complications are little apps that I can access directly from the watch face itself. For instance, like a stopwatch or the exercise app or the weather app and that sort of thing. So I can have a variety of different, where are we? Get in there. Like this is an exercise one that we have here. All right. This is the one, that's something else. This is the one that I tend to use the most coming up, which is just a standard watch face there. And on this watch face, I have messaging, the weather. The weather looks like that, so you get like a nice little weather thing. I also have on it control for my iTunes, for my phone, which I use less than I thought I would, and my calendar, which is kind of handy too. So it lists the date, but also the calendar activities. And there's a bunch of different complications that you can get, and depending on other apps that you have, you can have different complications. You also, of course, have in here, which I use somewhat, these different apps that are accessible here. This one in particular right there, I don't know if you probably can't see it very well. Let me get close to you. You probably can't see that well, but that's an exercise app, and that will, you can hit, like, for instance, an indoor run, outdoor run, or a HIT or high intensity workout sort of thing, and it will then monitor your exercise activity. So I find the utility really, really nice, and I like the fact that this does more than just a watch. I was quite happy with just a standard watch, but now that I have these additional functions, I tend to use them. What do I personally use the most? I definitely use the weather app all the time. I definitely use the instant messaging all the time because it's really nice just to look and to see what someone's writing, and then to, just press and use Siri to dictate a short response back, or to send an emoji or something like that back as a message. So that's been very, very helpful. I also like the calendar function and the exercise function. I'm sure there's other things, but the thing that I probably really use the most, which is surprising, is the timer. So I can tell, for instance, hey Siri, set timer for 2 seconds. And it's setting the timer here, and maybe you can hear it. Oh, that's what that looks like. And I use it all the time when I'm cooking, or even if I want to just close my eyes for 10 minutes. That's been really, really nice. So the watch itself and the functionality is a lot better than what people have claimed in the past with these Apple Watches. They do have utility. They are really useful. What don't I like about the Apple Watch? Well, it's kind of a pain to charge every day. I actually just charge it with my regular, when I charge my phone every day, but it's just one more thing to plug in. When I'm at home, that's less of an issue, but recently we went as a family over Christmas to visit some relatives, and everyone's vying for an outlet, right, or a charger port, because we're charging our phones and our devices and everything, and just to have one more thing that I had to connect and that I couldn't wear all night and just check the time at night was a little bit of a pain. So the fact that you have to charge it every day is a bit of a pain. Not insurmountable, but it is. I also think the styling's kind of blah. Let me get back in there. Now, most people might say this is a very nice, clean Apple style, and it certainly is. But to me, it looks like a computerized watch. I like the styling of a nice round bezel and all those little dials and crowns and things like that. And I know Apple's philosophy is clean and simple, and they would never do anything like that. But to me, it looks just kind of blah, even though I have this little bit better band on it. So that's something too. The other thing that I don't like about it is that it has crashed on me a number of times. How often? Maybe 3 times in the last month, which is a lot. 2 of the times there was really no way that I could even reboot it. I just had to wait a while, then it kind of rebooted itself, and that was kind of a pain. I have no idea why it did that, but it did do it. Another thing I don't like about it, where's my phone? It's in my pocket. Excuse me as I grab my pockets up. So here's my phone. And of course the Apple Watch really interacts with the phone quite a bit. But if you see here, this little phone icon up there, right there, it has a little 1 next to it, which means I need to update my software, which is fine. I have no problem with that, my watch software. But it won't update. And it will either tell me that I'm not connected to a charger when I am connected to a charger, or it will tell me that it can't verify the software. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that because I can't delete it and reinstall it, right? Certainly it's not something you can do that I know how to do it. And so I'm stuck with this update that may add more stability to my phone, but I can't do anything about it. And that's kind of a pain too. So it definitely does not have that super polished feeling that a lot of Apple products have, but yet it's polished well enough. So I would say this is a go. This is going to be my watch of choice until it dies. You might want to ask the question, should I get a Series 1 or Series 2? I would say really only get a Series 2 if you really needed that extra functionality. So I would would have liked having the complete waterproof qualities of the Series 2. This one is water resistant, but I would love to have it because when I go to the gym, I could wear it in the shower, I could wear it in the steam room. I do a lot of camping, or I love to camp, so I tend to wear a watch always when I'm doing anything camping. I don't tend to take it off, and now I have to remember to do that, and that is a little bit of a pain, but not terrible. Why did I go the Series 1? Because of cost. And so I think you can see some of these Series 1 watches now. I've seen them at like Target and places for $200 on sale. That's a reasonable price for a watch of this caliber. When you talk about the more expensive high-end watches, I would think twice with the higher-end Apple watches, unless you really had cash to burn, for the very simple reason that this is technology that's going to be outdated in a year, and certainly you want a new one within 2 years. So you have to kind of look at that money that you're spending and say, is this worth 2 years of use? If it is, then buy one if you have the functions that you want. But the Series 1 does pretty much everything that the Series 2 does, with some just minor exceptions like the built-in GPS, a little bit harder crystal and stuff like that. So with that, the Apple Watch is a go, and so I'd give you that 1 month update. Have a wonderful day. If you get some time, please give my free podcast a listen. It's called Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike. You can find it on iTunes. And now he has my wife as a co-host. She's a psychologist. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist, so we have slightly different views on things. And we talk about everything. We talk about current events. We talk about mental health issues. We talk about wellness issues. We talk about life with a bunch of kids. Whatever comes to mind is what we talk about, and so you might find that interesting. I also have an experimental writing blog, which is drmikekuna.com, drmikekuna.com. It's just that I wanted to start writing more and doing a little more experimental writing and writing more about my feelings in a public forum, kind of getting myself to see if I could do a little more serious writing at some point in the future. So if you want to know more about me, you could read that blog. And I'm not guaranteeing it's very good stuff, it's just more stuff. So have a great day. Bye-bye.